Good morning. Another beautiful day in Illinois. It's like the weather's been so good to us this summer. This is something that I can do this too. Silence their cell phones. Please silence their cell phones. Thanks. Okay, we got an agenda which is pretty standard, but this is what it is. Financial report, membership, computer club matters, classes, community matters, and feature presentation. The feature presentation, we're going to have a number of presenters, and they're all going to be doing like five plus minutes of a subject. So, because we have like five presenters, so but we're really fortunate that we have so many people that are enthusiastic that want to volunteer to do these presentations. So, thank you to everybody that's going to be doing that. Okay, treasurer's report. It didn't really change anything. We still have like about $200 or $300 to the Grafton Pantry that we keep donating to them. So that's been working out really nicely. They send me appreciation letters every month. I didn't know that. I got a stack of appreciation letters from them. So they are very thankful, and thank you all for helping out with that. Membership, the total membership went down, and the total membership went up. So what happened is we're back to the same number of people. So because there's some people that didn't re-sign, but we got some new people, and we're back to the same number. Okay, the schedule is Apple user groups are still meeting on the first Tuesday of the month. That's beginning in September, so we're looking forward to that if you're an Apple person. And then the photography group, it went from every other month to every month, so that's on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and I'm looking forward to that too. Okay, computer lab, it's open Mondays and Thursdays, 9 to noon. So we have pretty good attendance with that, and people are really respecting the noon thing because there's a lot of questions that happen, and the people are allowing people to go over noon, so thank you for everybody for being courteous about that. Okay, the lab is going to be open after this meeting, so if you have anything, we'd like to see you over there. No classes because of the summer vacation. Ralph was telling me about he's got a number of contacts that are already volunteering to do some classes, so that'll be starting up, and he's on his way. But he does need more people to volunteer to do classes. He asked me to announce that to everybody. So if you have an interest in anything that would be of interest to the general membership, like for example, you are pretty good at Excel. Well, there's a lot of people here that have Excel but aren't really comfortable with it, so they probably would appreciate somebody like you to give a class on it, or various other things. But Ralph's looking for people to help out with the classes, and we sure would appreciate anybody considering any kind of topic. You could just talk to Ralph. Where's Ralph? Right here, there's Ralph. And mention it to him, and I'm sure that any idea that you have would be really something that he'd be interested in having for a class. Okay, one thing is, this always happens. It's amazing. People forget their username, but mostly they don't have their password, because what they'll come in with is like one password, but they have a lot of different things that they're interested in, and whatever you're going to be interested in when you come into the lab, you need a password for everything that you're going to be needing help with. So passwords for all of those, please. Okay, the board meeting is on August 25th. I went to the last board meeting. It was very interesting. It was so well done. I encourage you to go to not I went to the board meeting and also the Sun City board meeting. They're very, very informative. You know, this is really nice that you get to come to this and see this. Boy, there's a lot you can learn from those meetings, and I think you would be really interested. Just give it a try. Concerts on the Square, they're still going on. We're so grateful for that. And Sun City outdoor concerts, they're happening regularly through the summer, so there you have it. Okay, the topic today is things you didn't know you could do with your computer or smartphone. I just want to say something about this real quick. There's so many things that you could that come up in life that lately, like for example, my neighbor got a new Hyundai. So we went out to get something to eat, and we were trying to put the restaurant's name in the thing so you can get the directions to get to it, because it has a little screen there. So they were having trouble with it, and I said, all you have to do is tell it where you want to go. If you want to go to Biaggi's or wherever on these new cars, you don't have to type in everything. You just tell it, well, give me directions to the place, and it'll just give you directions. And then the next thing that happened was, because it was a hybrid, it was a new Hyundai hybrid. When you put it in reverse, it starts beeping. And I'm like, what's that beeping for? Because it was going beep, beep, beep. I'm like, what's that all about? Then I was thinking, that's because it's a hybrid and it doesn't make any noise when it backs up. So it doesn't want to back, it wants to let people know behind you that it's backing up. Because you might be sitting there talking to somebody and not know it's backing up. So these new cars have all kinds of new things that are technology oriented. And that was something that surprised me, is cars now beep at you when they're in reverse, if it's a hybrid, because it's electric. Okay, so our presenters this morning the first one's going to be Shelley, and he has a number of things, so we're going to let him get going. Oh, Shelley, go ahead.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, so I'm sure you're going to be able to find something that you can put to use right now in your daily lives. Okay, the first topic that we're going to discuss is how to use your phone as a microphone. Suppose you need a microphone and you don't have one handy, or you're out and about somewhere. Well, you can turn to your phone. All you have to do is Bluetooth connect your phone to a speaker. Any kind of portable speaker can work. It can even be just a small little Bluetooth speaker. And then you're going to use an app. And with that app, you'll talk to the phone, and your voice will then come out of the Bluetooth speaker. You can do this with an iPhone, or you can do this with an Android phone. To do it with an iPhone, you want to use Microphone Live app. You find that in the App Store. If you're using an Android phone, the one I'd recommend is Bluetooth Loudspeaker. There are a lot of different third-party apps you can also use. But these two should at least get you started, and they're free. Okay, next thing we're going to talk about is how to use your phone as a scanner. A lot of people no longer have scanners and fax machines. And, well, turns out you can use your phone as a full-featured scanner. All you have to do is use your phone and the free Microsoft 365 app. The Microsoft 365 app used to be called Office. This is totally free to use on a phone or a tablet, so you can feel free to just load that in from the App Store. And it's what they've added to this now is really a full-featured scanner. Microsoft used to have one called Lens in the old days. This has even gone way beyond that. So it's a full-featured scanner that you can use. So it's not just going to give you a photo of your document or whatever it is you're trying to scan. And again, this will work on both an iPhone or an Android phone or on a tablet. So if you're looking at the at this particular screen, to get started with it, if you look down at the bottom where the arrow is pointing, there's a Create button. And all you have to do is click that Create button. And then you'll see there are a number of different things you can do. The one we're going to choose is the one called Scan. You'll also see at the bottom there's also Word, Excel, PowerPoint. You can do all of these things on your phone or your tablet with the same app. But we're going to talk just about the scanning process right now. So what you do is you center the document that you're trying to scan just with the phone's camera. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight because the app is going to correct for any non-straight types of things. So you just aim it at the document, kind of focus on it, and then you just click the camera's button at the bottom. So then you'll get a bunch of things at the bottom now, one of which will be the next button, which is where the arrow is pointing. So if you just have the one document, the one page to do, you just click Next, and you're off and running. If it's a multi-page document that you want to scan, over on the left-hand side, you may not be able to see it, but the lower left-hand corner, there's an Add button. So you can click Add and add additional pages. Okay, now if you notice when I went from, after I clicked the next button, the document is now pretty well straightened out, even though it wasn't, it was kind of askew before. So it gets automatically straightened. And then at the bottom, you'll notice there are also some multiple filters in there too. So if you want to do anything like darkening the scan, lightening it, you can change it. If it's color, you can change it to black and white. There's a bunch of different filters you can play with, but you don't need to. So all you want to basically do is lower right-hand corner, there's a Save button. You click Save, and it's going to ask you, what do you want to call your document? It's going to create this into a PDF file. So you type in a name for your document, and it'll be saved as a PDF. And there are actually two choices, so you can also use this if your document is actually a photo or a picture. You can save it as an image, as a JPEG file, in addition to saving it as a PDF. And you can save this as a file on your phone, or since this is Microsoft 365, you can save it in OneDrive, which is the cloud storage, which then would be shared to all your other devices. And there you go. This is the final saved PDF.
Shelley?
Yeah.
Could you tell me what the app is again?
Oh, it's Microsoft 365. Yeah, and it should be in the Android App Store or the Apple Store. Yeah, well, if you just have a quick question, I'll take it, but otherwise, let's hold the questions to the end.
Got another question on this.
Oh, okay.
Real quick, they charge you for that now, Office 365.
No. This, to use it on a phone, there's no charge for this. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a free version of Microsoft 365. There's actually a free one that you can use on a computer as well. It's a light version of Microsoft 365. If you come into the lab, we can show you how to do that. Okay. All right. So now that you've got a scanned document, maybe you want to fax it, and you don't have a fax machine. A lot of these days, fax machines are kind of obsolete right now. So you can fax this directly from your phone, your PC, your Mac, your tablet, whatever. All we're going to do is just use a browser to do it. So you open up any browser that you want to use, and you go to a website called www.gotfreefax.com. Gotfreefax.com. There are a number of these, but this one's one that I've used, and the reason why I recommend it, you don't have to worry about, something I'm just go into a free trial for 30 days or whatever. This doesn't do that. It gives you a free cover sheet. There are no ads on it. A lot of the other ones will put ads on it if it's free. This one does not. So I would recommend, this particular one. And all you got to do is at the top in the upper left-hand corner, you can put in, your name and then the person who you want to fax it to, and then you're going to choose over in the middle section. You can choose the file, the one that you just scanned, or any file that you want to fax, and you then select that file, and you'll be off and running. What's going to happen is it will actually send you a confirmation to your email, and then you have to in turn confirm that you're a real person. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to talk about is some new things you can do with Google Maps. So let's take a look at some of these. Google Maps, this is not the Android Auto or any of that. This is just a straight Google Maps. You can use this on any device, but it comes in handy, especially if you're using it on either an iPhone or a Android phone. So there's a lot of new features now. So you can, if you look at the top, you can see it gives you different categories. You've got restaurants and groceries and coffee shops. And you can kind of scroll that to the left, and you'll see tons of more categories. If we click on restaurants, it's what it's going to do is it'll show you all the places in the maps area that have what the restaurants are available, and you can zoom in and out. So yeah, here's some of the restaurants in Huntley, and then if you click on particular restaurants, it's going to show you not just the list of places, but you'll actually see photos of the restaurants, both inside and out. A lot of them even have photos of the menu items. They'll have reviews in there, so there's all sorts of stuff. If you were to click on gas, they now have gas. You don't have to use Gas Buddy or any of those types of apps anymore. You can click on gas, and it'll show you all the gas stations that are nearby. So this is one just looking at 47, not 47 over here, and it's showing the gas stations, and it actually shows you the price as well. And you can sort these in different ways, either by distance or relevance and so on. You can look for parks. So if you search for, you click on parks, it'll give you, there's Dyke Park and some other Huntley parks. And it gives you different reviews and photos about those. So here's some of the categories. And you can see there are a lot of different categories that you can select from. Food and drink, things to do, and shopping. So you can really go to town and find whatever you're looking for just right out of Google Maps. Another thing that they've done is they're going to let you travel back in time. And what we're talking about here is when you zoom in on any particular point on a map, you may get to what's called Street View, where it actually gives you a photo of the particular street that you're looking at, so you're instead of looking at a map view. So now what they've done is they've taken all the different street views, because you may have street views from different years. So you can pick what year you want to look at, and you can go back in time. You can compare one to the other and see how that particular street and buildings have changed from one year to the next. So here we're looking at the Huntley Square on Main Street, and they're showing goes back as far as September of 2009. So if I click on that, there it is in 2009. And you can also see how it was a couple of months ago, but this actually lets you go back in time. Okay, one more thing is they have something called Live View. Let's say you're walking around, and instead of looking at, you want to do a pedestrian type of search, which you can do with Google Maps. It'll map you out, show you how to walk from one place to another. Well, instead of looking at the dotted line that it normally gives you when you're doing pedestrian type of mapping, you can click at the bottom. There'll be a button that says Live View. And if you click Live View, if you look at the middle slide here, the middle one, you hold your phone up to where you're walking, and then what you're going to do is you're going to see the camera view, what your phone's camera sees in front of you. But overlaying that, it's kind of like an artificial reality type thing. It'll give you arrows, and it'll point you and say, you want to turn left to get to where you're going. So it's, yeah.
Does that work outside of the country?
Oh yeah, that'll work anywhere. Yeah, yeah, this will work in all countries. Yeah, and one thing you can do right here in the parking lot right outside, you may want to save your parking spot. So what you can do is you can, wherever you park, you get out of your car, do it well before you get out of your car. You can pull up the map. You drop a pin. There's a thing to just drop a pin on a particular spot where you're at the parking spot, and you can click. There'll be a button that says Save Your Parking, and then it'll guide you. You'll have that pin saved, so it'll guide you back in case you can't find your car. You'll be able to use that to find your car. Okay, next up we're going to have John Sterling.
I've got two apps I'm going to talk about. First one is the Weather Channel, and the second one is one called Flight Aware. The Weather Channel is kind of neat. Our house is about a half a mile from Wildflower Lake. And for us to walk from our house over around the lake and back is about 40 minutes. And we want to know whether or not it's going to rain during those 40 minutes. So you can check to see if it's safe to walk by checking the Weather Channel. This is a bunch of screenshots that I took last Sunday while I was watching the Cubs game. Sunday was supposed to be real heavy rain and storms, so I wanted to track that. And if you look up there, this doesn't have a laser pointer, does it?
You got one you need.
Huh?
It's on there somewhere, but it's not really shine that bright.
Okay. This one, if you look down near the bottom, it was done at 2 o'clock. I was doing screen prints about every 15 or 20 minutes. And here's the next one. This one is at 2:25. And all of a sudden, it's starting to break up. So the big storm doesn't look like it's coming. This one was at 2:40, and then at 3:15, it's gone. So I didn't get a chance to show you what it looks like for a heavy storm. This is Huntley right here. And this was at 4:30. The storms are completely gone now. The other thing it does is it tells you what the air quality is. And in this case, it's 35, which is quite good. About a month ago, it was 250.
Yeah, when the smoke went up from Canada.
The Canadian smoke got that up quite a bit. Flight Aware. It allows you to see where on a map a flight is during the flight. My son lives in Tucson, and when he comes to visit, we use this to track where the flight is at any point in time. And if it's being delayed, it tells you how much the delay is. So you know exactly when you want to leave to get to the airport, so you're not spending a lot of time at the airport. And this is what the map looks like. This is Tucson, this is Chicago, and the airplane moves along that path. So each time you look at it, it shows you exactly where the plane is. It tells you over here, if it's delayed, how much it's delayed. So this one can save you a lot of time. Next.
Hi, I'm Frank Leonardi. It's my first time presenting, so bear with me. Anyway, so what I want to talk to you today is about the Huntley Area Public Library. I'm hoping everyone has their library card. I got my first one when I was 6 years old, and I lived in a small town, so I ride my bike to the library, find a book on the shelf, take it to the desk. The librarian would stamp the due date, make me sign something, put a little card in the book, take it home, and then I had to remember when to bring the book back or the fines to start piling up. So things have changed since then, obviously, but one thing that's changed is everything's online these days, and so because of that, you can check books out, do a lot of other things from the comfort of your own home, or if you're in a doctor's office, waiting for the doctor to show up, even there. One thing about the Huntley Area Public Library, it's really a nice facility. I hope everyone's been down there lately to see it. They offer a lot more than just books, but what we're going to talk about today is essentially accessing the online materials. Now, I'm not going to go into detail. If you're interested in more information, let Ralph know. Maybe this would be a good idea for a class, if there's enough interest. But essentially, there are 3 free apps you can use, and they're available both on iPhone and Android phones. There's Libby, for checking out ebooks and audiobooks. You have to have a library card to do that. That's one thing that's still the same. Kindle for reading ebooks. Now, there's a number of different ebook readers. Kindle, I would say, is probably the industry standard and allows you to organize your materials. And then Hoopla, which, you know, Libby, you can check out ebooks and audiobooks, but Hoopla, you can get all kinds of things, video, other media, you can get movies, TVs, comic books, those kinds of things. So first, I'm talking about a Libby app. So essentially, there's a few screenshots here. When you get your library card, there's a screen where you go and you enter the library card. You know, it's very simple, straightforward. And then there's this screen, which is browse. Now, the thing about this that's nice is you can see the you know, newest, popular, random, available now. I always use the available now because I don't like waiting for things. But you know, you can also see there's different categories. You can browse, you know, by there's collections that the librarians have put together that you might be interested in. And then any of these books, you click on it, and then it'll take you to a checkout screen. Now the other thing is I read books, but I also like audiobooks when I'm walking the dog and stuff like that. And so I do a lot of audiobooks, and so that's one on these screens. You can pick, you know, whether you want all materials or audiobooks or ebooks, those kinds of things. Now this is a search screen, so if you know what you want, an author or a book, you can basically just type it right in there. And then once again, I always click on the available now, you know, so I'll type a certain author and do available now. And then I also click on audiobooks because that's my particular interest. And so it winnows it down. There's other filters. There's a Kindle category. I suppose there might be some books that aren't Kindle format. And I will say you can read the books in Libby, but I prefer Kindle for the ease of use. And then you have your shelf. So when you check out books, they show up on your shelf here. And then if I had 4 or 5 books, they will all be listed. And I can open it. I can manage the loan. And you can say, you know, when it's due, I got 9 days left to read that book. Now, the other thing about Libby in the library is they have a certain number of copies of books and audiobooks. And so if there's one you want, but there's not available, then you have to put in a hold, or you can't put in a hold. And so that'll basically let you know when it's available, allow you to borrow it, and that kind of thing. So I use that also. And then you can also tag books if there's an author or a book that you like, but you don't really want to put a hold on it or whatever. But you can just tag it, so later on I can go back and look and see, well, maybe I should check this book out. So that's sort of handy. And then there's a smart tag for notify me is one thing where you put it in there and then they will let you know when it's available. And this comes up because sometimes there's books I search for that aren't in the library yet that, you know, I can get notified when they become available. Now, Kindle app, let's see. So basically, with the Kindle app, you can download books from the Kindle Cloud to your library. Now, one thing I like about Kindle is that you not only do library books, but if you purchase books, and there's other places to get free books, you have all in one place, and you can manage them. The other thing is that if you have multiple devices, say a tablet, a phone, or a computer and a tablet, if you read on one device, say I'm reading on a tablet, but I go to the doctor's, I'm sitting there waiting, and I want to read it, I can open it there, and it'll sync to the place I was last reading, so that's very handy. And then, you know, you have a library, it'll hold an astounding number of books, but you can also delete books that you no longer want. So that's handy. And then the Hoopla app. Now, once again, so the Hoopla offers the ability to check out a number of different media types. There's the ebooks and audiobooks, but also there's movies, TV shows, music, comic books, magazine, and there may be a couple of things I don't list here. And one thing to note about Hoopla is that with the Libby, if there's a certain number of books and a lot of people want it, it'll be unavailable. But with Hoopla, if there's a book there, you can check it out right away, so you don't have to wait and set holds, kind of thing. So this is, you can see I borrowed the Coroner, the television show, and then there's a number of other things. So if you scroll down, you can see a number of things. If you look at the bottom, there can be books, video, more search, and that kind of thing. So that's basically a really quick overview. we have a great library here. I encourage people to go there if you haven't been there lately. It's got a lot of facilities besides just the media, but these 3 apps will allow you to take advantage of it without a lot of inconvenience. Yes.
Will it say what books you've already read? Because I find myself a couple years later checking out the same book and going, oh, I already read this.
Yes, well, in Libby, so there's a tag for that, so, and I apologize, I didn't feel like I could go into that much detail, but, yeah, there's tags, there's regular tags, there's, books I borrowed tags, and then there's a notified tag. So every time you borrow a book, it'll show up in that list, so you can go in there and take a look. And I do that myself, my attention span is not that long, so. Any other quick questions?
For those of us who are blessed to live in Hampshire Township, can we use those apps to access the Huntley Library?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch it.
We live in Hampshire Township.
I'm not exactly sure. I would think so, but you could call the library and find out. I know most libraries, I moved from Texas a couple of years ago, and down there, I got a card at the Round Rock Library, but then there were sharing plans for the Austin Library and Georgetown, the other ones.
Yeah, let's do that. But they put you on a wait list. So if a Huntley District person is desirous of the same book,
Oh, okay, yeah.
they get preferential treatment on that.
Oh, I see,
So I'm
okay.
asking in the app, if we want to access a book out of the Huntley Library, and we live in Hampshire Township, and we have a Hampshire card, will that number let us into the Huntley?
I'm not exactly sure. I know where I used to live, you had to go to the other library and get in their system. You'd have to call the library. I apologize, I don't really know.
Okay, thank you.
But you could also get the app and enter the number and see what happens. Anything
Are
else?
are the Hoopla just in digital format, or are they a hard copy?
I'm not actually sure. They do. Oh, digital, yeah, it's digital.
I have a question about downloading on Kindle.
Yeah.
Do you have a time limit to read those books? And if your time
No.
is over, what do you do?
Well, in the library, you have, it's a checkout time, and so, and it tells you in Libby how long you have it, so you have to renew it. Now, other books that you get, either that you pay for or that are free, there's no limit, especially if you pay for it, you own that book, so.
Well, what I do, because someone told me this a long time ago, this is before everything got real modern, if I run out of time and I'm not finished, I just turn my Wi-Fi off on my Kindle, and it doesn't disappear.
Oh, okay.
If anybody wants to try that,
That's a good trick. Okay. Any other questions, I guess? Oh, okay.
I think this is a subject for class because.
Right.
You just skim the surface. There are a lot of ins and outs. Kindle has a different issue than Hoopla does. Kindle only deals with 3 publishers. So if you have a favorite author, he may not be on Kindle. You can also get a year subscription, which they just now limited. Used to be you get it for a year. That's not available anymore. And the library clock is in their computer. It doesn't have anything to do with your computer or your device. So, yeah.
And anyway, thank you so much for your time. Yes, if there's interest, let Ralph know, and we'll have a class.
Hello, folks. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have scanned photographs at our lab? Raise your hand. How many people? That's pretty, not as good as I thought it would be. But if you did, you're gonna find that they all have the same long name on there. Mostly, if it was the old scanner, it might be more. The new scanner gives you a little bit more choice, but still, it's a lot. So if you wanna change those slides, you take a look at what Jeff did. He put this thing together, and let's see here. Let's see if this thing lights up good enough. Yeah. So he says, open up your folder that has the photographs in, and this one here is Vicksburg's 2011 folder, and you just click on the folder. And then you go to the next slide. And when you click on it, you'll see all these pictures of what's in the folder. And there is 169 pictures, all with a name up there. And this name begins with DSC, a number and something else. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. It was the camera's phone. The camera or the phone was the name it gave to the picture. So he wanted to change it all Vicksburg. So he had 196 of them, and he didn't want to do it all by, go in there and change every one manually. There is a way of doing it. Now, all these things we're showing tonight, this morning, you could come into the lab and we could show you in detail. If you don't have a Windows 11, the instructions we're showing here really, they work the same, but you have to go a little different ways. So then you go and click up here on this. This is where it gets a little weird on the new 7-11 file management system. It has a little different line up here. These icons, and that one means select all. Now you could select all lots of ways. You could Control A, but you might not want to check all of them. You might only want to check the few pictures that are in Vicksburg in its directory. So you select them and they'd all turn a little shade of blue and they're all selected. And then you go select the icon up there that says and if you type in Vicksburg with a pound sign like that, an and sign, let's see, go back one here. The and sign over here, you type in whatever you're gonna call it, and you put an and sign in there. And that will tell them to do a whole file. So it's very easy to change all your pictures to a little better listing on their files in your directories. So it's an easy approach, but you don't use this every day. So there's a few things in there. If you don't have a Windows 11, we can do it on 10, I think 8, 7 will still even do it. But it has a little different approach to doing it. You don't have these icons up here. You have to go to the menu system. They changed the menu system a little bit too. So that's one of the things you could do. It makes it easy to correct that naming structure to something that's a little more meaningful than all those numbers that the camera puts on. So. Then I want to talk about, second tip is YouTube. How many here are thinking of or have done it? Have cut the cord? More than the scanners, that's surprising. Okay, I'm a real believer that you could use YouTube as your full-time only application you use, because it has so much variety on there, from fixing cars to fixing refrigerators to all the general information type subjects are covered on there. So if you're going to be a user of that. So the first thing you want to do is be sure you have your Google password. If you have a Google Gmail password entered into your system, it should know that. And when you go into YouTube, you'll see in the corner, left corner up at the top, it'll have a picture of you or a name. And you'll say, where did picture come from? You put it in, you click that button somewhere way back when, and it always knows that's you. It's amazing how they keep track of you, and it brings it up in all kinds of different spots. So you want to check to be sure that you've got a password in there and you're signed in, because this program will remember all the places you've been and will give you appropriate presentations that you might find interesting. So the other thing it does is if you just turn it on and click on a subject that comes up in the boxes of all the little photographs. You say, oh, that's interesting, and click on it. You click on it, and then you leave it play. And when that program is over, it might be a 3-minute, 5-minute, or an hour program, you know, it doesn't make any difference. It'll automatically go, it usually throws a commercial in at the end of it, or pops up a box, but in about 15 seconds or so, it'll pick another video for you to watch. And that's based on what you use. So when it does that, it will do that all day. And if you're doing something, a lot of people just have the TV on for a while as background noise. And it's amazing how many people, oh, that's good, that's interesting. And they'll sit down and watch it. And you didn't even pick it. You wouldn't have found it yourself, most likely. And it usually is a good picture. You say it was on World War II, a battle or something. And next thing they show you will be another documentary on some aspects of something similar to it. If you look on, right now I've been watching aviation stuff from the air show up in Wisconsin at EAA Airvention, and they'll show all kinds of programs that are really interesting. And I didn't have to do anything. All I did was sit there and watch it. And if you don't like it, you can press the button to skip it forward or go on to the next program. But that is a neat feature. And because it's such a wide variable of material, it will always give you something that you are interested in or have watched before. So there's an important, if you got a husband and a wife, each of you have your own name on the list. So that when your wife comes home, she turns on her version of YouTube and clicks. It'll usually have a screen that says who's watching, and have the name of your husband and your name, the wife's name. You click on it, which one is going to be watching. So that whole artificial intelligence works to the advantage of that one. She's like to watch sewing stuff. So that is another subject matter that can go very, very long. So there is one thing with the program, they just changed, they update, all the programs you get on your TV. This is a program, it's called YouTube, and I'm talking about the version that's on your TV. And you might get it from any smart TV. You have a spot that says Google YouTube. If you click on it, you get YouTube. So on that program, if you don't get, in the beginning, you might get some weird thing playing because you're not interested in. Well, you just turn it off and use the button remote and find something else. But if you do find it interesting, watch that one and see what the next one is going to show you. Now, there's a little tip I can show you. If it doesn't do that for some reason, and if you got an old version, leave it on for a while. It should update automatically to a newer version. And I think the newer version, it has this tip we're showing set as a default setting. I'm not sure if they're all set the same way. So if it doesn't go automatically to the photographs, here's what you do. You get, this would be like the picture of your screen when, and they changed the viewer that you can't, used to be able to type in on a laptop, YouTube.tv, and that would be the TV version that was on your TV. Now they got that a little bit confused with the paid version, so it doesn't work so good. So I had trouble getting pictures, but anyways, I took the photographs of the screen. This is just a picture of the videos that they could play. And you got a list, if you go from here, you're on, that one is the first picture. If you hit the left, the left remote button, you'll go back and you'll highlight all these buttons. Usually the one you want is the second one down, or third one down here. That's the button you want to watch normally. And then there's news down here. But what we're really showing you is down here, in there is a little starred button. That's the setup button. So you go down to the bottom and you click the setup button, and that'll bring up next view here. It'll bring up this listing of things. You want to go down to where it says autoplay there, and when you click on it, you'll get this message. On, you want to be sure the on has a check mark in. It will automatically play the next video. And it might be on off. So that is the reason we gotta, you say, well, mine doesn't do it. It doesn't show me what I want. So that's important. And then you also want to be sure that you got, just as a general rule, mine has got a picture up here. It didn't show up that well. This is Frank. And it says add an account number. It should be the same account number you use for Gmail. It's one account for everything in Google system. So if you got a Gmail account, type your password in there, and then it'll remember you. So it's a good way. Now, you could watch, you think of YouTube as just short videos, but anybody in here can make hour-long videos, 2-hour-long videos today. Takes a little bit more to make longer videos. You gotta prove you're sort of you. That's about it. And it doesn't make any difference. So there's, when you see some of the production quality of some of the longer videos, and even the short ones, they are very good. One of the things that you might try is just type sailing in the search box and look at all the people that are sailing around the world. And most of them are doing it on the expense. They're doing it on, they're not burning their own money. They're living off the videos. So they're making a video on every week or every time they have a subject matter that's pretty good. They all have a young wife that looks pretty good too. It helps the views they get. And she's usually running around in a bathing suit, but so is he. But that's beside the point. They are very, very good filmmakers.
How do you fly this area?
So they got a lot of sailboats that are running around. I bet there's 25 people out there running around all the time on the sale, couples. And they're doing it, there's a couple of them that have been doing it for 10, 12 years. And they've been living off of the money they make on videos from Google. Google pays those people by the percentage, by the number of video people they, as you log into them, it asks you, it knows that you find it interesting, so you go back and watch some more. And so they put their ads. And most of the ads on YouTube are 10 seconds. And there's another thing, you got the remote from your TV, you just hit the OK button when a little box in the lower right corner says, it'll go white, time to skip the ad. The ad will play for 10 seconds, maybe, but 5 seconds into it, it'll go white, and you can click, it'll count down. So most of them count down from 4 seconds to 1 second. And when it goes to 1 second, you can click on it. And you only see that there's usually another ad behind it. But in a lot of cases, you only see the first 4 seconds of an ad. So, you know, it's not that bad. And if you're doing it where the background is, you won't even notice the ads. So give it a try even when you got cable or you got some other version of your program, so if you're getting your program from another source, just try it. And you'll like it. I bet I'd spend.
Don't tell us how much time.
10 hours. You know, 10 hours a day. And it works great. So, anybody else got any questions? We pass the mics around here.
We have one more presenter.
Okay. Okay, let's do that.
Good morning. I'm not really a presenter. This is the last minute thought, and I'm not prepared with anything, but I want to remind everybody that we record all these meetings. And you can go home and you can watch them, maybe not immediately, because we loaded up to YouTube. And our channel is Sun City Huntley Computer Club. I look around during meetings, I see people taking pictures of the screen and taking notes. You can go back and watch the whole meeting again. And actually, you could actually be home watching this live on YouTube. I tried.
How about Donna?
Nobody would got you. Don't advertise it.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna indulge some coffee, but I was sitting here. I tried it on my phone. It's working fine, and it shows a little live thing. But Sun City Huntley Computer Club is our channel. If you just go to YouTube and then the search box on top, type in Sun City Huntley Computer Club, it'll take you to our channel. And there's videos there back to the first time I started this in January of 2014. So probably not, some of the stuff is not relevant anymore, but a lot of good information there from past meetings. And we had the fire department and other things. You can go back and watch all that anytime you want. Thanks.
Yesterday, I heard there was 4 people shot in Crystal Lake, so I went on YouTube and did a search for 4 people shot in Crystal Lake, and there was at least 10 or 20 videos of what was going on. You can find out right away.
Press the button.
Frank, the question is for you. I have all these apps come up when I'm on my TV.
Hold it a little closer.
Okay, I have all these apps that come up, and one of them is YouTube. Well, when I click on that, I have Comcast, so when I click on, I don't have Comcast, I have something else. I click on YouTube, and it won't do anything because I'm not internet connected. And in order to be, open like the YouTube, I would have to have Comcast, and I don't.
The only thing you need is have the TV on the internet. you have to be sure the TV is turned on to the internet. So most TVs are Wi-Fi. All you have to do is go to your settings and turn on your Wi-Fi on the TV, turn it on, and put in your password and your SID number. So if you got trouble with this, it's the same thing that you put in your computer to make your little portable computer print or work in the house. If you got Windows 11, I guess 10 and 8 and 7, there is a way of finding out the password if you don't really know it on those computers. So come into the lab, we can help you.
I'll try that, thank you.
Any of the stuff we talked about today, like Ken was talking about, you can look at your image, or you can come into the lab and we'll help you.
Yeah, Frank, years ago, when you got lost or you wanted to get someplace, you would get what they call a paper map. I get that. Yesterday, I tried to get a paper map at many gas stations of Illinois. They looked at me like I was crazy. They say, you can't get a paper map.
Harry, they're right next to the yellow pages.
Now, I would say, if you have the Illinois paper map, it's a classic, it's worth a lot of money.
Look at the Secretary of State's office, usually you can find some Illinois Department of Transportation maps.
Okay, thank you.
They're available for reading. But that's about the only way, or you go to a visitor center place, they have them. But the gas stations don't have them. Any questions? Hey, take it up.
Okay, it's Bill, it's you.
Could we give everybody just presenting, that was a really nice time for that. Could we just give them a little hand? And just go. Sorry. Okay. I was requested to remind everybody that maybe somebody at the table could wipe the table down after we leave. So just if somebody would be so kind to, at your table, to wipe the table down. There should be cloth at every table. And with that, we sure appreciate you coming and have a nice day.